FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
.3 Citi FM. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News. Coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi, and tonight I'm here with
Ejubi Wiafi Akente.
Coming up in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
If our officers are not working, it means our verification platforms will also be shut down. And it is a national security threat.
The strike by workers of the National Identification Authority, NIA, that could cost the government sufficient revenue loss. Tonight, we explore the reasons behind this industrial action. Also coming up, the Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors raised alarm over an illegal attempt by a group of Nigerian oil traders to bring in fuel into the country. And later on Eyewitness News.
And so, with that said, a decision has been made that I will contest when the party opens nominations.
Former Agric Minister Dr. Brian Echampo officially announces his bid to contest the NPP presidential primaries and seeks the support and prayers from the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. Later coming up in business.
Asante Gold secures $470 million to recapitalize and boost gold output.
Eyewitness News is live on our affiliates across the country, around the globe. We are live on citinewsroom.com. Talking about affiliates, if you're in the Western region, you can hear us on Premier 10.5 FM, as well as the Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, or in Takrade. In the Bono region, you can hear us on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, Akpini Radio 96.7 FM in Pando and Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi. In the Northern region, Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East region, Wed 88.3 FM in Zuarungu. In the Upper West region, Westlink 88.1 FM in Lora. In the Northeast region, you can hear us on Eagle FM 94.1 FM in Waliwali. And the Hafo region, Hames Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. You can also join the conversation by sending in your WhatsApp messages on the number 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Ejubi Wiafe has our first story.
Members of the Public Services Workers Union of the National Identification Authority today began an indefinite strike. General Secretary of the union Bernard Ejay told Citi News the action was prompted by the Ministry of Finance failure to provide a clear timeline or commitment for the payment of the operational support allowance, the only allowance they receive to supplement their basic salaries. He noted that although the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has approved the payment, the continued delay by the ministry has left workers with no option but to withdraw their services.
We have made several efforts, including efforts at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, who then wrote to Finance to confirm that our agreement was valid and that we deserve the payment. They had verified, and the budget for compensation budget for NIA for 2025, which has been approved, is inclusive of this allowance. However, Finance has failed to direct controller to pay us. And at a meeting yesterday, the Ministry of Finance, they rather told us it was not budgeted for, which is contrary to what we know. Members are on strike, so if you go to NIA right now, nobody will attend to you.
Bernard Ejay is the General Secretary of the Public Services Workers Union of the National Identification Authority. Meanwhile, the National Identification Authority has warned that government institutions risk losing significant revenue if the ongoing strike by its staff is not called off within 48 hours. Speaking to Citi News, the head of corporate affairs at the NIA Williams, Ampoma Emmanuel, warned that any further delay could pose a national security threat, particularly to financial institutions.
If our officers are not working, it means our verification platforms will also be shut down. And it is a national security threat. Once we unplug, no bank will be able to work successfully. All the government institutions will lose revenue. We are talking about just 1.4 million every month for this 20% allowance to our staff, compared to what government will lose if the strike is to continue for more than 48 hours. So we are appealing to the Ministry of Finance to, as a matter of urgency, commit to timelines so we can also engage our union leaders so they can also subsequently engage their members to go back to work and serve the good people of Ghana.
Head of Corporate Affairs at the NIA, Williams Ampoma, speaking there. Now, the leadership of the Public Services Workers Union says it is prepared to end its indefinite strike if the government takes steps to restore and pay all outstanding allowances.
Obviously, we're asking for what is due the workers. The allowances must be restored. Government must give direction. If it's not ready to restore it today, when does it intend to restore it? If government is talking about budgeting constraints, mid-year review is just a few months away. Government must show commitment that what has happened is an error and that the poor workers should not suffer for this error. If government decides that there's money today to pay continued allowances, the strike will fall off.
You heard the National Secretary of the Public Services Workers Union, Ken Trinebua-Kodria, speaking there. Away from that, workers of the Ghana Meteorological Agency are expressing frustration over delays in the implementation of their conditions of service. Despite an agreement reached years ago, the provisions are yet to be enforced. Divisional Chairman of the Public Services Workers Union, Paston Ahinkan, says the union will pursue all necessary measures to ensure that the agreed conditions are fully implemented.
Majority of our people go through harsh conditions under the thunderstorm, rainstorm. A lot of them even eventually are bitten by reptiles. Through all this, we've been committed enough to make sure that we render our services to the public. Just last 2 months, we felt that management is not forthcoming with information, and for that matter, we cannot sit aloof and watch it.
You heard Divisional Chairman of the Public Services Workers Union, Pastor Ahinkan, speaking there. And
Mr. Ahinkan has joined our telephone line to give us more details about this particular demand and why they say there's a failure to review condition of service and other critical issues happening at GMet. Mr. Ahinkan, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Good evening, my brother. And then greetings to your viewers.
First of all, if you say that there's a failure to review condition of service and other critical issues at GMet, exactly what do you mean?
All right. We have a CA, which is collective agreement, since 2007. In there, it is subject to a review every 2 years. Since 2007, we've not had any review to this collective bargaining agreement. Now, we took over as the interim executive, November 2023, and upon to have.
Hello, Mr. Ahinkan.
Yes, please.
Your line is not clear. If you can reposition yourself, I'll be glad.
All right. Can you hear me
better.
now?
It's better now. Go ahead with your submission.
Okay. All right. What I'm saying is, since 2007, we have not had our condition of service, or let me put it, the collective bargaining agreement reviewed. In there is a clause which states that every 2 years we need to review our CA. But until today, we have not had any review of the CA. So I took over later part of 2023, and I wrote to management requesting that they review the CA for us. we did the proposals, which includes specific institutional allowances that needs to be inculcated in the CA during the review processes. We did the drafting, we sent it to management. Then management, in their own wisdom, decided that no, they want to come up with a new condition of service. Union resisted and said that no, we already have existing CA, which has all the things that we need to do. It's just a matter of infusing the new proposals in it. Management said no. They went ahead and hired a consultant in the aim of getting it fast track for us. My brother, we paid huge sums of money to this consultant, and we are where we are. We never got any result out of the consultant that had this condition of service done. It was submitted early this year to Fair Wages. We've been there thinking that we will have a response from Fair Wages. Till today, we've not had even one single response from Fair Wages. We went to management asking them that why is it that it has taken so long for us to get our condition of service reviewed, only for us to be told that government has put on hold all negotiations concerning new condition of service. And that is why early on we were emphatic to say that we needed not to get a new condition of service, but rather let's get our new proposals just inserted in the CA, and then we are ready to go. And so this is where we are.
In the CA that you mentioned, what is contained in this CA that you mentioned?
Very well, thank you. We have retention or hazardous allowance that needs to be given to us, operations allowance, communications allowance, 13th month, which is a yearly monthly pay that we expect at the end of the year to be paid to us. All these things has not been paid. Housing allowance has not been paid. My brother, when we talk about hazardous, we are at the various synoptic stations. We go on night. We work 24/7. We go through the rains, thunderstorm, at night. Sometimes we end up being bitten by reptiles like snakes and scorpions and others. Majority of our people have died out of this. Young guys, when you come to GMet, are exposed to this time due to the observation.
Hello, Mr. Inkan.
Yes, please.
Yes. Your line was bad.
Yes. What I'm saying is this. Majority of our people are exposed to so many hazards. Talk of reptiles, snake bites, and then scorpions. Sometimes you will find some of the snakes in drawers. When you go to our offices, very dilapidated. It's nothing to write home about. Common rain boots are not provided. Raincoats are not provided. People of such caliber expose themselves, especially their eyes, in observing clouds because of the sun rays. Most of the young guys between 30 to 40 are all putting on sunglasses. Why must we go through this? And at the end of the day, a leader who is sitting somewhere thinks that you are paid, and for that matter, you don't deserve to be given an allowance. So we ask ourselves, is the leader not required to be given allowances? He is taking his allowances. When he travels, he is paid for all these things. So we are saying, government should come to our aid. We are suffering. My people are suffering. Common rain boots, they don't have it. Common raincoat, they don't have it. But we go through all these things to make sure that we deliver our mandate. And so we are appealing to government to come to our aid to make sure that whatever that is needed for us to work and work well is provided. Secondly, our instrument.
Hello, Mr. Anka. Before you come in with the second issue, which is your instrument, these allowances that you mentioned, was it something you were enjoying or is new?
These are new allowances that we are proposing that it should be given to us. In the OCA, there is one in it which states that retention and hazardous allowance, which states each and every person under operation should be given 20%. Now, support services should be given 10%. All these things are in the old CA, which management would have easily asked government to implement it for us to enjoy, whereas we look into the new ones that they are proposing. All these things, we don't have it. We have long service awards in our CA. None of them has been implemented, my brother.
Now, your statement also talks about the use of old equipment, in your work. Exactly what do you mean? You mean these equipment you use in your work have been there for years and no replacement?
Thank you very much, my brother. These are obsolete instruments that we are using. We are just struggling to get things done. But with the experience and dedication of my people, they do everything possible to make sure that we deliver our mandate. These instruments we are talking about, if you go to most of our technology stations, Stevenson screen is the one that contains the thermometers and then evaporation and all that. All these instruments, as I'm speaking, some of them are broken down, including the Stevenson screen itself that protects these thermometers. Previously, since time memorial that GMet came into being, we were the hub for suppliers of Stevenson screen. Today, we are even struggling to get new ones. Go to some of the stations, they've used sticks to choke these Stevenson screens in order not to allow this instrument to get broken. We have some recording ring gates that are all broken down. Our management, or the DG himself, is saying that when you go abroad and all that, we are moving into automatic weather instrument, which is the owls, and for that matter, we should start be using it. This very instrument that we are talking about, World Bank gave us money to purchase some of them. Instead of us purchasing a brand new instrument, they hire a Ghanaian company to do some of the parts and only imported the sensors. My brother, we are in a company where, or a government agency where our leadership thinks about what they will procure and get than what the masses will get in order to have their peace of mind to work. We are suffering. If you don't have the requisite instrument to work with, how do you give public the needed, accurate weather that they need to get? And that is why we are saying that government should, as soon as possible, to intervene in these issues.
Finally, before I let you go, in your statement, you said, and I quote, as such, if nothing is done, we will advise ourselves accordingly. What kind of advice are you seeking?
Very well. We are speaking in parables, all those that have ears to hear. We know we are speaking directly to the government and saying that if all these things that we've enumerated in our press release is not well taken care of, it means in effect that all the plans that we have in terms of rolling out strike is imminent.
Mr. Nyankai, thank you very much for your time. Pastor Nyankai is the divisional chairman of the Public Services Workers Union, the TUC, the branch of GMet division. Let's go back to our earlier story where workers of the National Identification Authority, NIA, have decided to embark on an indefinite strike over some issues they have. They say that the government or the organization authority has withdrawn some allowances that they are expected to enjoy. Let's speak to the head of corporate affairs at the National Identification Authority, William Ampoma, to give us some details on this particular issue. Mr. Ampoma, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, my brother.
Your colleagues, or will I say workers of NIA, are unhappy about the decision to withdraw some allowances they were expected to be earning. Tell us more about this allowance and why they feel that the company or the authority or government in general has not been fair to them in this area.
Right. So let me say a very good evening to your listeners. But let me put this on record. We should not withdraw any allowances that is due them. But before I delve into it, let me say in solidarity, we empathize with the union. And we have been with them every step of the way to ensure their monies are paid to them. It's just unfortunate that the meeting we had yesterday, it appears there was certain information that the deputy minister was not privy to. And so certain comments triggered the anger of the union, and this had to happen. But let me reiterate, we empathize with them, and we assure them that management is doing everything possible within our means to ensure their monies are paid to them. And last week, during our briefing, a press briefing, we mentioned how far we've gone with regards to the 20%. As I speak with you, I have in my hand a letter that was written by Mr. Graham, or Dr. Graham, from the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to the Finance Ministry, asking them to authorize Controller and Accountant General to, as it were, effect the payment to our staff. But the ministry tells us that even though it was budgeted for, initially our budget was with the Office of Government Machinery. Now the National Identification Authority is with the Ministry of Interior. So as they were moving our budget onto the ministry's budget, the Finance Ministry tells us we made a mistake and did not lift the allocation we made for the payment of the 20% allowance to our staff from OGM budget. And so they are pleading with us to give them up to the mid-year, that is next month. When during the mid-year review, they will move the money to the ministry's budgetary allocation so that we can assess it and pay our staff. We understand we all make mistakes, but this morning we had a meeting with Mr. Graham from the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and the decision was that the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission will engage the Finance Ministry and get them to commit to timelines as to when they will commence the payment of the allowances to our staff. We have also spoken to the chairman of the union, and they are more than willing to listen to us once we approach them with timelines, because to the best of our knowledge, yesterday, that is actually what they were expecting, that the ministry will commit to timelines so that they can hold us accountable when the time is due and the allowances are not being paid.
Because it's one of the demands they are making, that they need a clear timeline. Are you in a position to give them a clear timeline in respect of this?
As I said earlier, in solidarity, we stand with them and we agree that there should be a clear timeline from the ministry. So in our meeting this morning, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission agreed with us that they are going to engage the Finance Ministry and report to us by tomorrow. And we are hopeful that by tomorrow they will get us that letter committing the Finance Ministry to those timelines so that the union will know maybe in August or say in July this month, this date, we are going to effect the payment for the staff of the union, the members of the union to get their monies. However, let me make this point. It is in the interest of the Finance Ministry, in the interest of the management of the National Identification Authority to get this issue resolved as soon as possible, because as our members are striking, the government in general is losing revenue. If you go to the ports to procure any services, you will need the National Identification Authority to go through. If you go to DVLA to procure any services, you will need the National Identification Authority. In fact, there is a contract between the National Identification Authority and our technical partners. And in the GSA, if at the end of the month we are unable to pay the operational expenses of our technical partners, the government will have to look for money to pay for it. And so as our members are striking, the monies we're supposed to generate into the escrow account is not going. So at the end of the day, government will have to look for money to pay for that GSA. If you look at the amount of money we need to pay these allowances monthly, we need just about 1.1 billion to pay, compared to the amount of money we will lose if the strike continues. So we are pleading with the union executives and our staff that management is with them on this, and we do everything possible within our means to ensure their monies are paid to them. But we plead with them that they should reconsider their decision, as we are all aware of the damage this can cause our dear country. They should reconsider the decision and trust management that honestly we will make moves to ensure some commitments are done to at least signal to them that we are ready to heed to their demands.
Will you finally, before I let you go, do you have any idea how come this allowance was seized or it ended? Because according to the statement from the union, the payment started in August to December, but then since January 2025, it ceased, it stopped. You have any idea how come it stopped coming?
Right. So I have in my hand a negotiated agreement between the union and the Ministry of Finance and Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. This letter was written on the 30th of September 2024. And in that agreement, the Finance Ministry, together with all those that I've mentioned, asked the National Identification Authority to use the authority's IGF to pay for the allowances between 1st August 2024 to 31st December 2024. And that was done. Now, the second point in this agreement was that the management of the authority should take steps to incorporate that in our 2025 budget. The authority did that, and then we have all the documents to support that. We captured that in our 2025 budget. The ministry also has acknowledged that we captured it, about 16 million in the 2025 budget. So it's not like the management of the National Identification Authority slept on the job and did not do as was agreed upon last year. That has been done. And you know how these systems operate. When you prepare the budget from the authority or the institution, you first of all have to put it in the system. They call it, the finance people call it Hyperion. Once it is put in the system, and the ministry has no issue whatsoever with the figures you have quoted in there, it then moves to appropriation. And so, to the best of our knowledge, all these processes were followed. No issues were raised on the budget and all that, and it was captured. And I indicated earlier that the ministry tells us they moved that amount, 16 million, to OGM budget. Okay. So they will need some time to move it back to the Ministry of Interior. And I said, we agree. But as the union is saying, management is also supporting that statement, that we can only get a solution to this problem if the ministry will commit to certain timelines, so that we are all clear in our minds that maybe on these dates in July, payment will start, so that the union can also communicate same to their members.
Okay.
That's all we are asking for.
Okay, William, thank you.
As we wait for that, we as management know what government will lose in this process. And so we are appealing to the union leaders to talk to their members and return to their various offices as management takes steps to
address this issue.
Get this issue
All
resolved.
right, William, thank you very much. William Ampoma is the head of corporate affairs at the National Identification Authority. It comes on the back of strike by workers of the NIA demanding, the continuous payments of some operational allowances. Now, the Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors have issued a statement or has written a letter to the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority. They are unhappy over the berthing attempt by MT Marlin Matrin in breach of revised Lakehand. He's the CEO or the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Dr. Patrick Kwekufori, has joined us on the telephone line to explain exactly what this letter intends to do and why they are raising issues in respect of the berthing of this particular vessel. Doc, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
First of all, why this particular letter to the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority? Exactly what are your concerns?
Our concerns are simple. We run an industry whereby planning is critical, and in this era whereby the government has done well to create a stable currency for us, which we really appreciate, and the support that we've received consistently from Bank of Ghana in providing most of our forest requirements. But with these elements that the government has done, we appreciate the government efforts in keeping pump prices down, and then also the government quest to even lower or withhold that 1 cedi taxes that they were bringing. And we are of the view that the petroleum prices that we are currently enjoying could have even gone down further if we adhere to plan laycan scheduling that we normally publish in a quarter. Why do I write this letter? You look at the current laycan regime, especially the second quarter. This is about the 7th revision that we've had. Excuse me, we are not running a business whereby we go to the shelf and then pick things. This involves planning, a long-term planning, contracts, locking in the contract, the product quantities, the vessel chartering, and all that. So if we go through all this process, and then you come here, you know that you are supposed to berth maybe 24th, and because of issues like maybe weather, we can sometimes understand. If there is even an emergency cargo that we need to provide for VRA to discharge so that we can have our lights on. All these concessions our members have given that they don't worry about. But then we have this schedule being revised sometimes for vessels or entities that have not even demonstrated commitment to the sector when the chips were down. And when I say commitment to the sector when the chips were down, we all will remember what happened during the Russian-Ukraine war and then the COVID era that created a lot of panic that most suppliers would not even want to come to the WAF region. There were others who took the risk and our partners who stood by us that even in times of need that we had queues in Paris, London, and Lagos fuel shortage. Ghana never experienced that. We don't want a situation whereby people, because they now see Ghana as a relatively stable in terms of currency, will want to come in and create distortion. That distortion on its own has its implication to our market and the sustainability of the businesses, and then also supply security to the country. But more so pressing to the ordinary consumer, which yourself and my good self are part, is the incurred demurrages due to these rampant and frequent changes to the laycan, which create unnecessary cost burden to importers, and importers inadvertently would want to find a way of recouping that money that they are paying and that pass it on to the consumer. These are some of the inefficiencies and operational issues that we think in the midst of the tension in the Middle East, if there is any time that we need a stable atmosphere, a stable time that the factors and the elements that are within our control, we can stay put to that and ensure that we run these operations efficiently without unnecessary delay, which attract unnecessary demurrages that we pay high. These are the reasons why we're talking against that. We sent a petition to the president after the 5th or 6th revision. The president, we are grateful to him, expeditiously contacted us and then tasked the minister to immediately meet us to resolve this issue. So we're all waiting to go into the meeting tomorrow morning, as the minister's PAs and secretary has confirmed, for us to come up with a long-lasting industry solution to address this issue. Then we wake up Monday morning. Despite the president's letter and the directive, we have a vessel being picked. And to our surprise, in this crisis that every country wants to maximize its facilities, we are picking a vessel that arrived only Saturday, where others were already in the queue and genuinely have a laycan that has been publicized to them a long time, that it made all their logistic plans to be here. And then you pick a vessel that contains only 18,000 at the expense of others that has over 37,000 and then 40,000 metric tons in there. And we felt that no, that is an affront to the processes that the president has started for us to continue going. So if you saw that letter, the reason for our frustration and our anger is that not that we intend disrespecting the president or the minister of energy, but we wanted to send a signal to the regulator that henceforth we are not going to accept any element of those distractions without industry consultation and without proper explanation that seeks to protect the national fuel security. Because we know the history that we are coming from, and we don't want any government to accuse any of our members of deliberately sabotaging government. And that is why we said no. We will not let we will let the public know our stance on this, and we also want the public to pay for a cheaper fuel rather than us passing on our inefficiencies at the port to the consumer.
Doc, in your letter to the Chief Executive of the MPA, paragraph 3, and I read, or I quote, it says, our investigations further suggest that this attempt is being orchestrated by a group of Nigerian oil traders who have been displaced by Dangote Oil Refinery. We understand that this effort is allegedly receiving support from certain political intermediaries. Such actions are not only irregular but appear to be strategically aimed at circumventing due process for narrow commercial gain. You think there are some political elements working with these Nigeria oil traders?
The name dropping. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Doc.
They drop the names. They drop names here and there that somehow intimate government appointees or government stakeholders who are supposed to do the right thing. And that is what we want the public to know, and then also the high office to also appreciate that people are using names that somehow are meant to coerce and influence and push them to do something against the laid down procedure. Yes, we know that because we are in the same space. When a vessel leaves Rotterdam and is going to Kenya or Nairobi, we are aware. As Mombasa or wherever, we are aware. When a supplier comes to you that I can provide you so and so letters and it's coming from this, we know where it is coming from and who is fronting for that. An unfortunate thing for them is that the industry is so small, because from all over the world, the traders among themselves will talk. And then they know that, oh, these people that has been displaced here have come. Oh, if you cannot take from us, we are guaranteed 2 laycans every month. At the expense of who? At the expense of the indigenous buybacks, and then those with track record that have demonstrated their commitment to the sector by even going a step further of investing in the downstream infrastructure. We're talking about a situation whereby about 70% of the infrastructure assets where our products are being stored are in the private sector. These people have made these long-term commitments with the hope that the business that they are running will be a going concern. And when you have market disruptions, it affects their mode of receivables, and then also their commitment to their financiers who have backed them and even lend them credit facility to invest in the sector. These are elements that we think that it is not fair onto the lives of the Quantums and the Sage that have made huge sacrifices as Ghanaians to invest massively within the sector. And that is why we're sending a wrong signal that, and to those perpetrators, irrespective of where they are, that the Ghana market cannot contain any form of illegality, and we're not going to entertain any element of distraction.
Doc, thank you very much for your time. Dr. Patrick Kweku-Fori is the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributing Companies. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Some of your text messages before we go for a quick break. The NDC government will experience strike actually throughout the 4-year term. They claim they were a listening government, but look at what is happening. If you lie your way to power, this is what is going to happen. Another one from Gusty in Bekum says, this NDC government will experience strike throughout. Okay, I've read that one already. Aziz, Prof in Tema says, the rude attitude of government workers declaring strike because of allowance must stop. Why do they take all these allowance, yet we don't see any workings? People are prepared to work even without such allowance. Government must be bold to end this. If it means sacking the workers. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi, and tonight I'm here with Ejubi Wiafi. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Go me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Massa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi, and tonight I'm here with Ejubi Wiafi, who has some more stories.
Member of Parliament for Abetifi and former Minister for Food and Agriculture, Brian Achampong, has officially declared his intention to contest the New Patriotic Party's flag-bearer position ahead of the 2028 general elections. He made the announcement during a meeting with the leadership of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, where he sought their prayers and blessings. Speaking to the media after the meeting, Brian Achampong said his decision was based on findings from an exploratory team that spent a month gauging the sentiments of delegates across the country. According to him, the feedback revealed a strong appetite for new leadership qualities he believes he embodies.
A month ago, I set up an exploratory committee. A week ago, they brought me their report. We've reviewed the report. Largely aligns with what I set out to do. There were a few things that I also have to align with the party and then with the aspirations of the country. But as said, the important point is that the conclusion of the report suggested that there was a need to have a different candidate that can galvanize the party, unite the party for victory. There was also a need for that candidate to be able to demonstrate and give hope to the young people of this country that through their vision they are able to create jobs for the youth of the country, provide security and revamp the infrastructure of this country. And so with that said, a decision has been made that I will contest when the party opens nominations, but to do that as a product of the church, it will be a disappointment per my tradition for the moderator of the church or the Presbyterian General Council hears it for the first time on radio. So before a formal announcement is made, I thought it wise to come and inform the General Council and the moderator of the Presbyterian Church that this is what I have set out to do. And so when they hear the announcement, then that is it. But most importantly, though, to seek the blessing, I want to start with God and then finish with God. The journey, I'm a politician. We know how treacherous the political journey can be, and God is a requirement for a journey like this and a requirement for life. And therefore, I needed to see the church and seek their blessing and prayer and continuous prayer whilst I start and embark on this journey.
Member of Parliament for Abetifi, Brian Achampon, speaking there.
And Pius Enam Adide joins us on the telephone line now. He's a former CEO of the National Youth Authority and a former Deputy Minister of Information. Now he's with the camp of Dr. Brian Achampon. He joins us on the telephone for a conversation on this declaration. Pius, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good evening, Sammy, and thank you for having me.
Dr. Brian Achampon says he set up a committee to advise him on the way forward. I'm sure this declaration has come about because the committee he set up have given him the green light to go ahead and contest. Is that the case?
Well, thank you very much, Sammy. Good evening to you and to our cherished listeners. Yes, it is true that about a month ago, the fourth-term MP and former Minister, Honorable Dr. Brian Achampon, announced that he had instructed an exploratory team to go around and engage with stakeholders and to try to establish alignment between his vision for our party, the New Patriotic Party, in particular, and the expectations of the good people of Ghana in general. That move itself was in response to the several calls that were increasingly coming from the rank and file of the party, calling on Dr. Achampon to rise up to the occasion and to offer himself to rescue, revamp, re-energize, and reposition the party, the New Patriotic Party, so that we can be able to win the 2028 general elections, because without doubt, it is only the NPP that has shown the proven record of delivering in government and meeting the aspirations of the Ghanaian people. Unfortunately, we endured a very heavy defeat in 2024, and so people kept calling on him, and then he set out that exploratory committee. Indeed, the Honorable Mafo-led committee has finished its work and submitted its findings to Dr. Brian Achampon. In essence, the conclusions and recommendations of the team largely suggest that there is serious alignment between Dr. Achampon's vision for the NPP and Ghana and the expectations and aspirations of party members and the populace in general. And having sought the face of God and having consulted with family and leading members, rank and file of the party, indeed, I can confirm to you that Honorable Dr. Brian Achampon has decided to offer himself and his he is responding to this call of duty. And when the time comes and the New Patriotic Party begins the processes towards the nomination of his next presidential candidate, Dr. Brian Achampong will put himself up, and we are hopeful that because there is this great alignment between his vision and our expectations as a party, the party will endorse his nomination and will present Dr. Brian Achampong as our flag bearer for the 2028 election. So, Sami, you are very right. I can confirm that that decision has been made.
We have seen certain members of parliament, or heard certain members of parliament and former MMDCEs declaring support for one of the individuals who has declared intent to contest this particular primary. We haven't had any declaration or any support or endorsement for Dr. Brian Achampong. Are you worried that these endorsements seem to be going one direction?
No. Sami, there is no cause for alarm. There is nothing to be worried about. You know that Dr. Brian Achampong is a very, very astute politician, and myself, you know that I am also a promising student of this enterprise politics. We have been around long enough to know how some of these things play out. Look, when Doctor engaged with me and asked me to join him in this rescue mission, one of the things he said is that let us act in a way to protect the unity and sanctity of the New Patriotic Party. There are many people that I bear personal testimony that come to him on a daily basis in droves, from high and low, rank and file, members of parliament, former members of parliament, district chiefs, leading of the New Patriotic Party, that come to support the decision that he has made and to justify the need for a persona like that of Dr. Brian Achampong to lead the New Patriotic Party at this most crucial time of the party. We are, however, minded that this is an internal contest and that the way we conduct our internal affairs can have a bearing on the general elections. And so people can tickle themselves and laugh. People can, just this morning I was monitoring the radio and I heard some angry former MMDCs. Before then I had heard some MPs who claimed that they were not fair, that their names had been used and put out there. But this is politics. I mean, you should understand some of these things, that sometimes people put out these things, especially when an individual like Dr. Brian Achampong has entered into the fray. You will understand why people want to do some of these things, but there's no cause for worry at all. I can assure you that even with this relatively late entrance into the contest, I say that because I am told that some other members of the New Patriotic Party, seniors, who had contested before, intend to contest again. And so that is the context in which I use that word, late entry. But even then, the current polls that I have seen suggest that Dr. Brian Achampong has moved up. In fact, as of this morning, I was checking one of those polls. He's moved to number 2, even without hitting the ground full-fledged. And
which polls are you talking about, Piles?
Well, there are internal polls that we are politicians. And we are monitoring whatever is happening.
So you've done your own polls, which suggests that he's second.
Correct. Professional polls that have been conducted. And
you care to share this poll with the Ghanaian public?
Oh, sure. Why not? I will take clearance and then I can share with you. But I mean, this is not a matter. It's a matter of public knowledge. The speed at which the Brian Achampong name is becoming household. It's a matter of public knowledge. The rapid rise in in the race of Dr. Brian Achampon, and we suspect that many people are actually acting in response. People have begun to panic a little and so on. And so we can share the pool with you any day, but we are not worried at all. Like they say, the battle day ground. And so we are prepared to engage. His only admonition is that let's engage in a decent manner that can ensure that we protect the unity and sanctity, because one of the key findings of the Honorable Mafo-led exploratory committee is that the party's internal healing and unity, and many people feel that there is increasingly rising tension between certain sectors and actors within our political space, and that there will be a need for somebody who can unify the party, bring all actors from across the board, and we can form a united party and fight and execute the 2028 elections and deliver victory, not just for the NPP, but for the people of Ghana. We all see how the people of Ghana have been hoodwinked and so on. It's important that the NPP puts itself together quickly and come back to the rescue.
Okay,
no
all right,
other
Pius.
person to do than Honorable Dr. Brian Achampon.
Pius, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Pius Enam Hajide, former Deputy Minister of Information, former CEO of the National Youth Authority, now with the camp of Dr. Brian Achampon, officially today declaring his intention to contest in the MPP presidential primaries when the party goes to elect a new leader or a new candidate for the 2028 general elections on the Saturday 31st of January 2026. Talking about the MPP, the party's general secretary has just issued a statement announcing some disciplinary actions against some individuals and a meeting between the presidential aspirants. And the statement says, the National Steering Committee of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, at its meeting on Tuesday, June 24, 2025, resolved as follows. 1. To invite all personalities who have so far publicly declared their intentions to contest in the forthcoming MPP presidential primary to a joint meeting with the Steering Committee and the National Council of Elders. The meeting, which is expected to discuss matters of mutual interest, is scheduled to take place on Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. 2. The committee also referred the Bono Regional Chairman, Mr. Kwame Bafo, also known as Abronye, to the party's National Disciplinary Committee for breaching directive of the National Council, cautioning him to refrain from making unguarded public comments. And 3. Direct the immediate cessation of all associations of present or former party executive or government appointees holding meetings with presidential aspirants in breach of the party regulation. The party wishes to once again remind members of their constitutional obligation to protect party unity, to abide by and publicly support the party's decision, and to refrain from engaging in acts that threaten party cohesion. And is signed by the General Secretary of the MPP, Justin Kodia Frimpong. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll do business news.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open it.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go, the go-go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, with the one for you.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejibi Wiafe Akente. Let's settle for the details. Asante Gold Corporation has secured $470 million in credit and equity commitments to fully fund its growth ambitions and clear short-term liabilities, anchored by $175 million from Appian Capital Advisory and $170 million from Rand Merchant Bank. The financing package includes senior and subordinated debt, gold streaming, and equity. The company also received conditional approval to list on the Toronto Stock Exchange TSX Venture Exchange targeting August 2025. The financing will support expansion and upgrade at its Bibiani and Chirano mines in Ghana, as Asante Gold targets annual gold production exceeding 500,000 ounces by 2028 and over $2 billion in free cash flow through 2029. Moving on, Action Aid Ghana is calling on the government to strengthen efforts to curb illicit financial flows and address corruption in order to make more public resources available for development financing. The organization is also advocating for loans secured from multilateral lenders such as the International Monetary Fund and World Bank to be channeled into productive sectors of the economy to enhance growth and job creation. Action Aid Ghana's country director John Nkau has been speaking to the media on the sidelines of the civil society government dialogue on financing for development.
Government and key stakeholders should block the loopholes in illicit financial flows. We should work and support government in its clampdown on corruption and ensure that all those monies are available for development financing. And thirdly, we are making a clear point that government needs to be intentional with its bilateral and multilateral donors such as the IMF, the World Bank, to ensure that the loans that come into Ghana are invested in a more productive, sustainable way. Locally led brood initiatives such as schools, such as hiring of more teachers, as already said, nurses, is very important. But more importantly, providing not just employment but decent work where people can feel secure to remain in Ghana and work and ensure that government is also investing.
John Nkau also urged governments to address persistent inefficiencies in Ghana's energy sector following the suspension of a planned 1 cedi per litre fuel levy increment. He notes that while the suspension may provide temporary relief, it does little to ensure the sector's long-term stability and financial sustainability.
In terms of the energy levy tax, government has suspended the tax. But equally more importantly, CSOs are calling on government to ensure that inefficiencies in the system are addressed and revenue resources that are mobilized are devoid of corruption and loopholes and inefficiencies, particularly in the energy sector. By so doing, we'll be embarking on a path of sustainable financing for the energy sector.
You heard John Nkau, and he is Action Aid Ghana's country director. Away from that, Africa World Airlines is considering a reduction in airfares by the end of June 2025. The airline says the decision is also influenced by the relative stability of the cedi, particularly against the US dollar. Speaking at a soiree to announce the airline Accra-Ouagadougou route schedules to begin on July 1, Godfred Esel, Brands and Communications Manager, also assured of the company's commitment to safety.
We are currently working on something. Hopefully before the month ends, we'll come up with new reduced fares. Safety is our utmost priority. That's why at times passengers think, when there is small weather changes or issue, we don't fly. We tend to assess the issue critically before, because we prefer that you get there safely than you get there in a turbulence and the unforeseen might happen. And we have that track record. For 12 years, we've been there, we are operating, and by God's grace, we'll still be operating in the next 20, 30 years to come.
That was the Brands and Communications Manager of Africa World Airlines, Godfred Esel. Now, Martin Kwame Awaga, President of the Ghana FinTech and Payments Association, is urging businesses to adopt financial technology solutions as the tools continue to transform how people live, transact, and access financial services. According to him, fintech has moved beyond being a buzzword to becoming a driver of economic activity, financial inclusion, and business growth, especially in developing economies like Ghana's. He made the call on week 4 of the Citi Business Festival 2025 on-air series on the topic, How Fintech is Changing the Business Landscape.
So currently we have in Ghana, for instance, or across the world in Africa, we have a thriving youthful population.
Okay.
And this population basically makes a chunk of the entire spectrum of individuals in the world or in Africa. Now, these people are tech savvy. They are not really interested in, long processes and all that. For instance, going to the bank. So I'm going to give you some practical insights. Now, these are people who always want things at their fingertips.
Okay.
So then, with this understanding, we can attest to the fact that they want things easy and fast.
Kwame Awaga is president of Ghana FinTech and Payments Association. The Citi Business Festival 2025 is powered by 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, with sponsorship from Absa Bank, MTN Ghana, and Zonda Tech Ghana Limited. And that's all for the Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ijibi Wiafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Citi 97.3 FM. And this is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. On Point Blank tonight, my guest is Stanley Yao Nadaya. He's the independent member of parliament for the Williamsea constituency. A first-time member of parliament who says he plays ball with the NDC in parliament. We'll find out from me how parliament has been so far and how he's learning the rudiments of the house. Honorable, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Get closer to the microphone.
Yep.
Sure. First-time MP?
Yep.
How are you coping?
Oh, very well.
You're learning well?
I'm learning.
Is it difficult?
There's no work that is easy. Every work is difficult, even including your work is difficult.
But is that something you were expecting?
Oh, yeah, I should be expecting this. As a leader, you should be expecting anything on your way. Yeah.
But before coming to parliament, if you see them on TV, you do think that this house is going to be like...
Oh.
Maybe your perception about the house is different now that you are in there, from when you were not in there.
Oh, well, it's never so. I think that before you go into a game, you would have been prepared mentally. I think that I prepared myself mentally, knowing the challenges I had, knowing what to do. I know that, yes, it's a place of learning, and you definitely would have to meet people who would nurture you, who you mentor, or they will mentor you. You study basically their steps, and which I'm doing critically. I'm following steps.
Why did you decide to run as an independent candidate in the last election?
Oh, well, if we say this, my journey began from a very far...
Tell us the journey. We are interested.
Well, the journey began when I decided to finally contest. That was 2019.
Okay.
And I really did extremely well in the primaries. But when that happened, I know that, yes, things didn't go well in terms of the vote counting and all the things that happened. You know,
so that was in the primaries?
Yeah, that was in the primaries. And
on the ticket of the
NDC.
Okay.
Yes, of course. So it went that way, but I went back to really, support the candidate to win. But as a party member, you also try again and again.
Yeah.
So in the 2023 primaries, I went into contest. And the contest, in fact, I came out with flying colors, but as it were, things didn't go down well again, and it was as if the votes again was twisted. If I may say this, I'm not saying this to shame anybody, but I think that is the rudiment of the game, that when things don't go well, you say them as it is. So I think when we went into that election, they rigged the elections. And I think the youth said no. That wasn't the best. And I think I brought the whole issue to the party to handle it. Because it was an internal issue, and I should not have taken it out of the context. Indicating that I was going to court, no, it was not the best option for me. So I took it to the leadership. So they handled it in their best of knowledge. And I think the youth and the elders who matter, who decide, came out clearly to say, look, Stanley, you have to contest for us. Otherwise, we're going to lose the elections. And in fact, I thought it as much to consider their decision. And that's where I am today.
So NDC had a candidate in the constituency?
Yes.
And you also contested, know your background as NDC?
Yes.
The party didn't have an issue with you?
Well, the party, I may say the party would have an issue. But sometimes the party might also be looking at the people who vote. The party definitely had an issue with me, but the people who vote, the people who are looking for who leads them, and of course, power belongs to them.
Yeah.
So having realized that, I think the party did their best in talking to me, but I think I referred them to my elders and the youth that they should be convinced. Because after the primaries, I think I stayed away from the constituency for a while, about 6 to 7 months. I never stepped there.
Okay.
So my influence there was very minimal. So I thought.
Was that deliberate?
Yes, it was a
Okay.
deliberate action for me to see that steps were taken to go back there and reconcile or talk to the people. But unfortunately, where the approaches went, people who earlier went there to solve that issue rather aggravated the whole situation and made the youth get angry at a point. And of course, the leaders, my elders, also got angry at a point and said no. It was insulting to see some of these things happening. Because you see, whenever there's a problem, you need people who can come in and resolve this matter. But when people who should matter in this, the circumstances, rather are people who don't know what to say, how to say them, at what time to say those words, it leads to some chaosness. But I think my people did well. They said no, if I don't contest, they may never allow me to contest. At a point, people threatened me. If I don't contest, I should never step in the constituency.
You were threatened?
Yes, I was threatened that I should contest. And that was it. Also, at that point, I felt that I haven't also done so. All the sort of researches that were done, they could find something very important in my contest. Yes, I thought it was so. And a lot of research went on. But sometimes when you go with some familiar faces into the constituency, you don't get the best. Everything was pointing out that I was going to win the elections. But sometimes it depends on what they were feeding our leaders. That I wasn't going to amount to anything, and that I was going to, waste the votes of NDC, which I said no, it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case at all. But I thought it was also a way of salvaging, if I may say, the position of the MPship, so we can determine where to give it to. And of course, I'm an NDC. I've been an NDC, and haven't also gone through that. When I came to the house.
Was it easy to join?
Yeah,
or
it
there
was
was
easy.
some few resistance.
No. Joining a party as an independent candidate or independent MP coming into the house, it is the rule of the game for you to choose where to belong. And the speaker would also make it clear to you that within these 2 months, you can make your decision. And of course, during that time, he made us aware that, look, he wants us to, express our kind of party to belong to, or in terms of caucusing. So deliberately, we have to do so willingly. And it was easy to do so. So what happened was that I just straight away went ahead to write a letter to the Speaker of Parliament and caucusing the leadership of the party in Parliament. And of course, it was gladly accepted that I was going to be part of them, to do business with them. And so it was. So I didn't find anything difficult about it. It was that simple to go through.
And in future, would you want to go back and contest on the ticket of the NDC?
That is not.
Have you considered that?
Oh yeah, I don't have a problem. Contesting on the ticket of NDC. I know that if the people love you, wherever you go doesn't really matter. But I believe that the NDC gene or the DNA I'm made of is of the party NDC politically. So I don't have a problem in future contesting on the ticket of NDC. No, I don't have a problem at all. Yeah.
Let's just stay within the constituency, because not too long ago there are some supporters of the NDC who decided to support you in the last election were suspended, and they have called for their reinstatement because they decided to support you in the last election. Are you aware of this?
Oh, well, of course. Whatever happens at the constituency, I am privy to. One way or the other, I get to know what is going on there. In terms of those that were suspended, that they supported me, look, I think that we should reason up and come together quietly than to reveal ourselves or expose ourselves in a very bad manner. For instance, people who voted me, today I am MP, I don't have to consider that some people voted me, some didn't vote me. They don't have even evidence to show. In most cases, yes, some people might have followed me, they are part of the list, but how many are they? But I think that when I heard this, I was taken aback. I was really surprised. But, I mean, to go forward, I don't see them applying any rule to say that they can, get those people out of the party. They don't have that power. They don't. You need to also hear from the person, hear what they have. There have never been any inquiry on that. They have never called them to ask them whether they did A or B. No. It was a mere attack and a sabotage, and also getting the party destroyed at a point. If I may say this, you see, if I have the majority and you didn't get the majority, who should be a bit diplomatic? And we are more diplomatic. I'm very, very diplomatic. I'm open up for any discussion with them. I'm so much relating to them very well that they shouldn't have this attempt, or attempted at the constituency level. I don't think they have that power. All I would ask for is that they should let calmness stay in the party and allow every member to really do their work. In fact, some of these things happened in MPP as well, when they started writing to some people over there. But it did not work. It didn't work. In our case too, I don't see that they should tell people that they voted me. If they voted me and I'm caucusing with the same party, you are fighting the people, then there's something wrong somewhere. I'm really sure that most of these things, they don't really happen this way without a due course.
Mm-hmm.
You see, after elections, definitely some people would not be happy.
Yeah.
Even if I were on the ticket of NDC contesting, if I had won, do you think everybody would have liked?
No.
But nobody would have. Nobody would have liked me because I'm a star. No, they would have their preferences, but we should manage those tempers we have. We should manage them.
Let's go to Parliament. You serve on the Environment, Science and Technology Committee, right?
Yes, please.
Let's talk about the environment. Galamsey.
Yeah.
Are we dealing with Galamsey?
Very well. We are dealing with Galamsey. You can see the vision.
We, as in the country, are we winning the fight against Galamsey?
We would surely win. Measures are put in place. I'm sure you will be hearing some of these measures.
But we started this fight since 2017,
yes.
Aggressively.
Oh, yes. Some of these things are dealing with the issue of Galamsey. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of some strategic measures to adopt.
Okay.
Not just force. You can't do it. People have lived on Galamsey to make it their livelihood.
But we shouldn't allow the destruction of the environment to be the source of livelihood for somebody.
How about you can, yeah, that's true. I'm saying this because, you see, even we have drugs that people live on drugs. Aren't you aware? To get them out, do you use force? Force may come, but it won't amount to anything. You need some diplomacy. You need some tactical ways of getting them, distance, getting them understand.
Yeah.
You see, to understand a problem is mostly 50% of the solution, if not more. Because Galamsey, as it were, look, on the issue of Galamsey today, you won't go to Eastern region and will be happy with the place. Ashanti region, you won't be happy.
Western region,
you will be happy. We have toured those places.
As a committee?
As a committee.
Okay.
Observe what is happening. My brother,
it's devastating, eh?
It is disheartening, devastating. We are treading on dangerous grounds. If we are not careful to handle it ourselves in the way people understand, look, our water bodies will be gone. And that's the very dangerous aspect of
It's already gone.
And I'm telling you, our trees are going. Our forest is depleting. We are losing more than 50%, 60% of our forest, areas to Galamsey. Those are the places we could boast that we have trees. But today you go there, my brother, even foodstuffs. And the Western we are engaging is that even what we eat chemicals today. Our food is chemicalized. I mean, in terms of to consider it as, I may say it is more or less poison. Our water body is poisoned. You go to some of those areas and you find remote areas where people drink. You ask them, what do they drink? What do they drink? My brother, we went somewhere and it was night. But in fact, the whole committee, our committee leader, the chairman, Frimpong, Honorable Frimpong, in fact, he's so passionate about the environment. So much passionate. And in fact, when we went, that night we sat down to look at what is happening. In fact, none of us could eat that night. It was so disheartening. You see, if we sit in the city and we think we don't care, it is happening in the forest. The food they will produce from the forest will come to us. Will bring the sickness.
But how
to
do we
us.
end this? How do we address this?
We've
done everything possible.
Yes, we are now coming out with very strategic measures.
Like?
If you look at the carbon market that is actually coming out, we are going to be one of the nations. Even the recent times that you heard our president mentioned, we are one of the first nations in Africa, West Africa, to champion this cause. Then we are encouraging our youth to go into agriculture as well.
But where is the land to do the agriculture?
Yes.
The land has been destroyed by Galamsey. So where is the land to do the agriculture?
It is true. We have lands for agriculture in this nation. And we have lands that we have the trees, the forests, together with mineral resources. Today, our youth some of our youth are finding Galamsey as quick money-making venture. Of course,
because even cocoa farms are being destroyed.
Exactly.
For Galamsey.
Exactly.
So where is the land to do the agriculture?
So as we speak, in fact, we are trying to see how measures can be done. When GM started, our Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, when he raised this point to say that he's tackling Galamsey, people didn't believe that. But he started in a way. When he gets, you see, I am also, pushing the idea that those boys we arrest at the sites are just victims.
We should go for the real owners.
We should go for the real owners. We should go for the real owners. And this way, we can end it. There are places where these people have taken siege, and you can see where we share borders. Youth are coming from there to do galamsey in Ghana.
From neighboring countries?
Oh, yeah. Yes. And this was told to us when we went round. It was told to us that our neighboring countries' youth are crossing over to Ghana. And you see, they don't go there with peace. They don't go there with that kind of, they go there with force. Some have made it their livelihood. I know that every constituency might have experienced this. I had a young man died over there and was buried just this last week. I was so sad. This is a young man who has decided to do business, to come and then maybe turn the family around, and all he could end up was at the Galamsey site. My brother, the Galamsey we are seeing is more than malaria. It's more than, if I may say, AIDS. It's killing us. Galamsey has started to kill us, but people haven't realized this.
Maybe authorities and people who are supposed to fight it are yet to realize.
You can tell me
the impact of it.
I can also let you know that President Mahama is working at it. With all seriousness, he's going to attack, and we are going to do so very soon.
We'll all support him to address this. I'll say a big thank you for your time. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Stanley Yao Nadaya, who is the Member of Parliament for the Wolensi constituency, independent, Member of Parliament, but then says he plays ball with the NDC in Parliament, the majority caucus in Parliament.
And I will say something little.
Finally, 30 seconds.
Oh, you should give me some time.
No, we are running out of time.
All right, that's fine.
30 seconds.
Today, they read our letters as we caucusing with the party. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that those letters were accepted today. We had written to them, but because the house where we are is a house of records, they must read it publicly. So it is today that the Speaker of Parliament read it out to the public. So people shouldn't think that we are tendering those caucusing letters today. No.
Okay, all right. Now it's official. It's on record. Thank you very much. My guest has been Stanley Yao Nadaya, who is a Member of Parliament for the Wolensi constituency. And this is where we end today's edition of Eyewitness News. That came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier you heard Ajubi Wiafe. Show produced by Beverly Landon and Juliana Asari. Technical assistant Emmanuel Latte. Till we come here again tomorrow. Good evening.